Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome again to another Global Unipay back office function training. We've been doing these for the better part of a month now, and we've had an amazing response in regards to showing you all how your Global Unipay account actually goes and functions and what you can go and do, already, which is amazing. First off, before I go and get into the introductions for those people who don't know who I am, we've got an amazing time right now with Global Unipay. And if you wait until the last part of this presentation, I've got some very exciting news for each of you. But where we're at right now is Global Unipay is a safe and secure platform, and we prioritize safety and security for people's wealth. And especially if you've been reading the news in certain parts of the world right now, there's a lot of scary news coming out that is in relation to people's wealth not necessarily being as secure as what they once thought. So what we want to go and do today is show you each how to go and use your Global Unipay account, should you have been verified, should you have been accepted, so that you can go on and go forth and make the necessary steps to keep your wealth safe and secure. It's one of the things that Academy of a Private Investor goes and teaches is how to make money, how to multiply it, and how to keep it. And I'm very proud to go and say that Global Unipay goes and covers all three of those, but this isn't the session to go into each and every single one. That's Marshall's cup of tea. All right, so without further ado, let me introduce myself. My name is Aidan Ward. Next slide, please. I am the project manager assistant for Global Unipay. I'm the co-host of the Life of the Brothers of Everrich podcast that I go and do with a couple of the Australian local council members. I'm an agent in the Everrich partner program, and I'm also a member of the Generals of the World for Peace. And I think that is an incredible component of our ecosystem and our esteemed partners, because while it is great to go and have wealth, have an abundant amount of wealth, isn't it amazing how we can go and pay it forward and make a massive difference in the world to go and make it the world that we know should go and exist. Next slide, please. So I want you to just go and take a minute, and if you haven't yet been verified or set up your Global Unipay account, let's use our imagination, okay? So let's assume that if you're here right now, that you've been verified, you've gone through the onboarding process, but you're sitting there with a blank account thinking, how do I go and do and make the most out of this amazing platform that, I'm a co-owner of, if of course you've got WCRU. So first step is to log on to www.gtinet.ch as pictured. What you will then need to go and do is enter in the email address that you assigned with your onboarding, as well as your password. Now, the email address should be the exact same as your EvoRich email, as that's the way that we can go and get both Global Unipay and EvoRich back offices to go and talk to each other and basically links up, which is super amazing. Once you've gone and entered in your email and password, just hit that big green button that says sign in. Next slide, please. Awesome. Now, I will go and apologize. A little bit under the weather. It is a very cold winter here in Melbourne. So this is basically what your Global Unipay platform is going to go and look like. Okay, and there will be some slight differences. You won't go and have your digital assets already set up. You probably won't have any funds in the account, I would go and imagine, but you will definitely go and have your name at the very top of the page. You'll also go and have the link to the business account, and then you'll have a whole range of options with the dashboard, and of course, your settings so that you can personalize your notifications, get in touch with our support team, as well as put in your two-factor authorization as well, which is amazing. Next slide, please. So the first part of this presentation is going to be going through the profile settings, which will only take maybe a couple slides, okay? So with your profile, if you were to click on your name there, what will happen is there'll be a little drop down box that you can go and see as pictured, and it'll go and have your email address. It'll also go and have your unique user ID. It'll have a link to your profile settings, and it'll also go and have a link to your support correspondence. And there is a designated inbox where all correspondence between you and our support team or various parts of Global Unipay will be within this little inbox here. Now, we'll just go and touch on your unique user ID is one of the key components for how Global Unipay can be linked with certain actions and operations, both within EvoRich projects like Unitex and of course the back office, but also external financial institutions, especially if you're depositing, your money into your Global Unipay account. That is a very crucial detail. So it's very wise to go and either remember that unique user ID or know exactly how to go and locate it. And the best way to go and do that is just by clicking your name profile so that you can go and get that 6-digit unique user ID. Next slide, please. Cool. So we've already gone through the profile component. Now, for this part is for merchants, all right? So in the future, we're going to have a lot more business owners with their own, teams that they're going to go and be having within our Global Unipay platform, which is an incredible opportunity. And this is the merchant part. So you can go and have your individual account, which you've already gone and set up, but you can also go and have your business account. If you are a merchant, or if there is somebody that you know who is being referred into EvoRich who does have a business outside of it, then this is an incredible opportunity for them to also secure their business wealth as well as their individual wealth within our incredible platform. Next slide, please. So to go and register a business or a merchant, there are a few simple steps. Now, I will not go and lie, with a business account, there is a one-time fee to go and set that up. So it's really important that before we are registering a business, that the Global Unipay account, your individual account, already has the funds in that dashboard in the quantum assets, so that it can just be done without any hassle, without further ado. So the first step is, once you've gotten all the funds in the quantum assets in either Euro, USD, or Swiss franc, you want to go and start by clicking the Open Business Account, and then you'll be met with this page. You'll need to go and indicate whether you're the company owner or whether you're a representative of the company that's looking to be registered. After that, you just need to go and enter in the name of the business, or the company, or the corporation, or the foundation, and of course the tax identification number. Every business, as far as I'm aware, does have a tax number attached to it, of course. We all know why. The governments just always need to go and be taxing, right? So once you've gone and located the tax number that is linked to the business, you just want to go and enter it in that box that's pictured at number 3. And then moving on from that, very similar to providing the registered company's tax number, you also need to go and provide the registered company's address, okay? And at the time of business registration, there will always go and be an address attached to go and finalize, the business being, official. So once you've gone and done that, indicate the currency that you would like to go and have your business account operating out of. And that can be done through either Euro, that can be done through USD, or you can also go and do Swiss franc. Once you've gone and indicated, you just note the little disclaimer down the bottom, and I'll read it out for you. Sorry, translation team. It says, you are about to open a business account. Please note that you will be required to deposit 2,000, and this is in US, for Euro, and for Swiss franc, it will be 1,500, to each corresponding currency, to initiate the account opening process. So that's exactly what I was saying before. It's really important that you go and have the funds in the quantum assets part of the platform. Once you've gone and read through that and you've entered in all the information, you just see that little button down the very bottom. That'll go and highlight with a big bright green, like we went and saw with the sign in when we were signing into our account. And then once that goes and highlights, then you'll be able to move on to the next step. Next slide, please. Cool. So as you can see, in this particular part of the presentation, I did not go and have the required funds in my quantum asset. So it's come up with a big notification saying, you know, you have $2,000 pending payment for business account activation. Of course, if you did already go and have the funds in your platform already at the time of registering the business, then it would be automatically deducted straight from there. So it's really important that, you know, you do your due diligence, you understand that, you know, that the money will go straight away. But at the same time, that's going to go and offer you a business account that's ready for operation very, very quickly. So this is basically the same as what we're going to go and see with our individual account, with a few slight differences. It's very simplified. So with the business account, all operations are down to 3 components: topping up the account, exchanging between currencies, and then transferring or sending either through another global Unipay account or to an external financial institution. Next slide, please. But that's the business account component all set up. It's really, really easy, isn't it? Can I go and get some 3s in the chat if you think that this process is super simple so far? Just have a sip of coffee. Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, the Kaga sandwich. Lovely. Good to have you on, guys. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is, like I said before, the main dashboard. Your dashboard is going to go and have a varying amount of available operations. Number one, you'll have your quantum assets, and we'll be diving into that shortly as soon as I've gone through the list of operations that you can actually go and undertake. After quantum assets, you'll have digital assets as well. So cryptocurrencies, stable coins. At the moment, we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC, and Tether. Very soon, we'll probably go and have more digital assets incorporated and integrated into our global Unipay platform so that it's more diverse and you have that option. After the digital assets, we'll be going through the IBANs, the international bank account numbers, through Liechtenstein and through Lithuania. And then we'll be covering the banking cards and how they go and operate. And finally, at the very bottom of the platform, we'll go and have a log of the transactions, and I'll show you how you can search through every single operation that happens within your global Unipay account. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on to the next slide. All right, so quantum assets, very similar to how I went and showed you with the business account, are down to 3 easy options. Whether you can top up and add funds, exchange between currencies, or send internally through global Unipay or to an external financial institution. Every single one of those quantum assets has a designated operation button. So if you want to go and top up in euro, you would go and find the euro component of the quantum assets and hit the button that says topping up. If you wanted to go and exchange USD into euro, then you would go to the USD component of the quantum assets and then exchange into you know, euro through there. And of course, with Swiss franc, if you were wanting to go and send money, then you would go to the Swiss franc component of quantum assets and click that designated operation. So for this slide here, we are going to be topping up or adding funds via a bank transfer. And there are a couple of options. You can do it through a credit card. You can do it through a bank transfer. So the first part is that you'll need to go and nominate a deposit amount, all right? Next, you'll need to go and put in that you confirm that you've read the terms of use. The terms of use is readily available for anybody to go and read at any given time. And it's strongly advised that you do read the terms of use just the one time, to go and save yourself the hassle of always having to go and read it. But that way, you know your expectations that we expect of you, and you also will go and see what we expect of ourselves as well. Because we want to go and have that transparency so that no one's left in the dark. So once you've gone and read the terms of use and you've confirmed that you've read the terms of use, just note the fees. Now, with banking transfers as a deposit method to go and top up and add funds to your account, we definitely do advise that people use the banking transfer operation for large deposits. Reason being is that there is a set fee of 25 euros. For USD, it's $45, and for Swiss franc, it is 45 francs. All right. The reason that I go and say that is that we want you to go and make sure that you are only getting hit with the minimal amount of fees for every operation. So for big deposits, that's where the credit card option, which is done through a percentage in fees, exceeds the 25 euro or the $45 or francs, then that would be the best option for yourself. It's a really, really, I would go and say, I think there would be a very cost efficient and honest way for you to go and top up your funds. And the fact that we are actually telling you that this is the best way to maximize your wealth goes and shows that level of transparency and honesty, which I can safely say it's not always said through financial institutions everywhere around the world. So once you've gone and noted the fee, you've gone and put in your deposit amount, then you just have to go and hit place order, and it'll go and happen like that. It only takes a matter of seconds to go and load up your funds. Of course, some banking institutions, go and have a little bit of an issue with transfers into businesses outside of banking institutions outside of their banks. But all it takes is just a quick call to your bank if it does go and pop up. So just keep that as a word of warning. Next slide, please. Cool. So once you go and place the order, these are the details that you will need to go and enter in to your external banking institution that you're transferring money from into Global UnitPay. Okay, so you want to go and note the IBAN. That is definitely going to be one of the details that you'll need in order to go and transfer. You'll need to go and enter in the SWIFT number, and that's for all international transfers from one country to another. And the SWIFT code is just pictured down the bottom here. You'll need to go and enter in the the account name, which is GTINet AG. And then if it does go and ask for the beneficiary address, you do go and have that there. But I will go and make you all aware that without putting in your unique user ID as a reference or a comment within the transfer, it will not go through. We will go and stop it straight away because we want to go and make sure that it is you who is making this transaction, and it's not someone who's hacking your account and then sending it through. We want that level of security and that level of honesty as well. So make sure that if you are transferring via banking transfers, especially if it is a large deposit that you are adding to your Global UnitPay account, that you are putting in your unique user ID as the comment or reference for when you're transferring out. Okay, next slide, please. Cool. So we've already gone through the banking transfer component of topping up your account. Now into credit cards. So very, very similar to how we did it with the bank transfer, is that you just need to nominate your deposit amount, enter in your card details, which will be a whole lot easier, and then confirm that you've read the terms of use, of course, but we've already gone and done that many times. We just have to tick that box, don't we? And then just note the fee down the bottom. It's considerably less than that 25 euro or $45 US or Swiss franc, right? This is what I was saying. If it's going to be a small top up that you're adding funds to your account, best to use a credit card, best to use a debit card. Just any Visa or MasterCard works. Okay, next slide, please. Oh, sorry, Dennis. I'm going too fast, apparently. My apologies. So now, exchanging between currencies. Like I said, in the quantum asset component, if you're wanting to go and exchange a currency into another currency, you will go and hit the button of the desired quantum asset in your main dashboard, and that's to go and exchange currency from that particular quantum asset. Okay, so in this instance, I would have gone and clicked onto the exchange button in the euro component of the quantum assets, and then I've nominated into USD. Very, very simple. After that, all I've gone and put in is the desired amount that I'd like to go and exchange from into the US dollar, and then noted the fee amount of being 1%. It's only 1%, which is amazing. And then once I've gone and noted the fee, entered in the amount, and made sure that the exchange operations is, how I want it, which currency from and which currency to, all I'm going to go and hit is the big exchange button that's just down the bottom highlighted in green. Next slide, please. Cool. And that's it. For exchanging currencies, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. It really is. Now, for transferring assets, we're going to go and touch on an internal transfer. And this is between one global UnitPay account to another global UnitPay account. I'm very, very pleased to go and announce, ladies and gentlemen, that for all internal transfers, it is completely free. There is no charge for transferring from one global UnitPay account to another global UnitPay account. And the more merchants that we do go and get on board with global UnitPay, you can see what sort of difference that's going to go and make for them being able to, distribute funds to their employees, the income and whatnot. You're going to go and see how our EVA Rich partners will be able to go and transfer from, one global UnitPay account with ease into another. Yeah, wow, that's incredible, especially when we are wanting to go and take up, what is it, 15% of the global population within EVA Rich and be that new economic evolution of the world. Well, think about which payment platform they're actually going to be using. This one. Of course it's going to be this one. Of course it's going to be Global UnitPay. Because once you're in EVA Rich, you're always passionate about every single project because it's for the people, by the people. That's where we're at. So for an internal transfer, all you need to do is just nominate the currency that you'd like to transfer from. So in this case, I've gone and clicked the transfer or send button within the Euro quantum assets. And then I've gone and put in the amount that I'd like to go and put in. Now, the really cool thing about transferring internally between a global UnitPay account is that you don't need to go and have their international banking number. You don't need an external, an IBAN to go and do so. All you need is their email, their phone number, or their unique user ID. Their email is probably going to be one of the easiest ones. So is their unique user ID because it's only 6 characters long. Okay. So once you've got and entered in, their details, and you only need to go and select one part of information, you just want to go and enter in as a comment, maybe as a reference so that they can go and track it down with ease, through their transaction filter, which we'll get to later on in this presentation. Next slide, please. Now, I'll answer all questions at the very end of this presentation, ladies and gentlemen. So I mentioned last week, actually, that while at the moment we only do have a bank account withdrawal method, we're soon going to be integrating in a Visa MasterCard option as well, which will follow the very same sort of strategy that I mentioned with topping up an account. Currently, for all bank account withdrawals, there is a flat fee, which can be capitalized on for any external withdrawals of a large quantity. With the credit card, with the Visa MasterCard option, that's going to allow every global UnitPay user to go and transfer money outside of our platform if necessary, you know, through a card that's going to be considerably less in fees compared to, you know, a flat amount. And you can be rest assured that we're doing our best to make sure that, you know, we can go and deliver that level of service so that everyone can go and maximize the amount of wealth going within Global Unipay and also outside to other financial institutions. So let's get into the bank account component. What you'll need to do is you'll need to choose between either a SEPA or an international transfer, which is a SWIFT transfer, like I mentioned before. With SEPA, it is only for transactions that happen within a umbrella of European countries. I'm not exactly sure the parameters and which Euro countries are within that SEPA umbrella, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. However, if you are within the European Union and you're transferring money to someone else in the European Union, you would go and select the EU SEPA transfer. For any transactions that are happening either outside of the European Union altogether, outside of that SEPA umbrella, or for transactions that are going from one of the Euro countries or into a Euro country from an international financial institution, well, then this is where you would go and select SWIFT. Okay, you'll need to go and have the SWIFT transfer. Once you've gone and done that, just select the asset that you'd like to go and have transferred from, so either Euro, USD, or Swiss franc. Enter in the desired amount, and then just provide the necessary details when it comes to the IBAN or bank account number, the BIC, SWIFT, ABA, or BSB number, and then of course the transfer details as well, which will be the comment or the reference so that your financial institution outside of Global Unipay can actually go and make note, and you'll be able to go and track it down for reference with ease so that you know that your money is not being lost in purgatory. Next slide, please. So with the, and then following from that, you'll need to go and enter in the beneficiary details. So the name of the bank account, and of course the registered address of that bank account as well. And then once you've gone and done that, it's really advised that if you are going to be making multiple transfers to this particular beneficiary, to this particular bank account, that you just click the box that says save beneficiary to go and save yourself the hassle in the future of having to go through this step all over again. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? So you want to go and if it is not just going to be a one-off transfer, then definitely do go and add it to, I suppose, a beneficiary address book to go and save yourself some time. Once you've gone and done so, just to confirm that you've read the terms of use, which we did way back in the start of the presentation. And then, of course, just note the amount. It is a 30 flat fee of either euro, US dollar, or franc. Okay, so you can go and leverage that so that you're getting hit with the least amount of fees. So once again, if this is going to be a large sum withdrawal, this is a great option for you. Okay, next slide, please. Cool. Okay, so we've gotten through the quantum asset component. With the quantum asset component, that's probably the most nitty-gritty when it comes to what you can go and do within. That's probably going to be your bread and butter operation for your Global Unipay operations. Next, we want to go and move on to digital assets. Now, when you're first logging into your account, you won't go and see the Bitcoin or the Ethereum option yet. But what you will go and see is this big square, this button that goes that says add digital asset. And that's where we're going to go and start off. Okay, so we want to go and click that button that says add digital asset, and we'll move on to the next slide. Cool. So as it goes and says within the text box, when you click add digital asset, you'll be able to go and add Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, and USDC wallets to your dashboard. As always, just read and acknowledge the terms of use, but tick whichever digital asset you want to go and add to your Global Unipay dashboard. simple as 1, 2, 3, ladies and gentlemen. Once you've gone and nominated the digital assets that you want to go and have integrated and available, just go and hit the button that says Add New, and we'll be taken to the next slide. Lovely. Okay, so this is starting to look a little bit more like a diverse portfolio, doesn't it? Now, if you note on the left-hand side of your dashboard, it's going to go and have sort of like a snapshot of all the available digital assets. Now, like I said, going forward, we're going to be integrating more and more digital assets as time goes on. And of course, if we go to the main part of the component, you'll go and notice these 6 little dots in the top right-hand corner. And this goes directly in when we go and have, all these other digital assets within Global Unit Pay. We'll be able to go and move those around, and we'll be able to sort them out so that we can go and see, the most prominent and the most relevant digital assets, boom, right on the front screen, which I think is really amazing, so that you're not getting lost in, okay, am I going through da 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 da? It's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. All right, next slide, please. Cool. Now, when it comes to any actions within your digital assets, you have the option of buying, you have the option of selling, you have the option of sending and also receiving. Now, the buy and sell option, I do believe, is only for Bitcoin, because Bitnut, who goes and manages the quantum clearance payment processing, which we go and use in Global Unit Pay, is actually a Bitcoin vendor. That's how they came into prominence back in 2017, which I thought was very, very amazing. They also supplied us with the white label, for this platform, so that we can continue to go and use it. We didn't have to design it from scratch, which I think is really cool. Now, the options available, like I said, you can buy, you can sell, you can send, you can receive. With the buying component, it is very, very exciting that we have the ability to go through a limit feature or a market feature for buying and purchasing Bitcoin. We can do the same with sell, but I will get to that very shortly. So you want to go and nominate the quantum asset that will be paying for the Bitcoin in this instance. You then want to go and put in the amount that you'd like to go and spend. It's a no-brainer. And then also with this feature, you can go and enter in the limit, the absolute maximum price that you will go and pay for a Bitcoin. And very much like Unitex, it'll be submitted as an order. And as soon as that the value of Bitcoin in this instance goes and drops to the limited value that you've gone and nominated, you'll be able to go and just have it added straight to your portfolio, which is, I think, is an incredible feature for us to have more control of where our wealth is, and so that we're not getting lost in the market, which can be, a big risk, especially if you haven't gone and done this before, which some may not have. So once you've gone and done that, just note that there is just note the summary of the information there. There'll be a total fee amount of, in this instance, 0.05 euro. And it'll also go and tell you the total amount spent. And of course, what that Bitcoin amount is equated to per the amount that you've decided to go and invest in. Once you've gone and done that, just hit the buy button and the order will be placed. Next slide, please. Lovely. So in this, I'm going to go and show you how the market feature goes and works, which works in both buy and sell of Bitcoin. Now, you want to first nominate the quantum asset that will be funded from the Bitcoin that you've gone and sold in this instance. You then want to go and nominate the amount of Bitcoin or the amount of your digital asset that you'd like to go and sell. Once you've gone and done that, you will notice that it goes and says market order, sell Bitcoin immediately at the given market price. What that means is that every 15 seconds there is a refresh, and it will come up with a new market price per what Bitcoin is worth in the market. And for all you traders out there who are looking at charts, who are watching, the line graphs and the value go up and down on a regular basis, this is a perfect way for you to go and, you know, basically bank out of, all your Bitcoin. Very, very simply, you can just watch the value rather than looking up and down and what have you. It's a very simplified approach, which I absolutely love. I like things that are very simple. I don't like complicated things. Once you've gone and done that, and you've found the market price that you're willing to go and sell, and you think, yeah, this is an amazing, investment decision, you want to just go and hit the big green button that says sell, and it will happen within, like I said, 1, 2, 3. It's a very instant sort of process. Next slide, please. Now, because this is the final presentation of this format, we have elected not to go and do the send the send slide that I did go and promise a couple of weeks ago. We've just had so much going on with Global Unipay. We haven't had any time to go and catch our breath. But with sending any digital asset, all you have to go and do is provide the wallet address that you'd like to go and send your digital asset to from Global Unipay. You just need to go and nominate the amount that you'd like to, and then go through the QR code, which will go in and present as an option as well, like you can go and see in this receive component. So the send and the receive functions of transferring any digital asset is very, very simple, and they're mirrored. Okay, so very similar to how we did in the buy and sell, how we do have both of those options, send and receive. The actions are exactly the same. I will just go and make note that with Bitcoin, no other digital asset, just Bitcoin, that there is a deposit fee amount of 0.0005 Bitcoin. Now, what that basically means is that if you are sending, if you are receiving and you're being sent a digital asset, in this instance, you're receiving Bitcoin, you will need to make sure that the minimum amount that is being received matches 0.0015 of a Bitcoin, so 15 thousandths of a Bitcoin. Of course, you'll be credited the 10 thousandths of the Bitcoin if it was the very bare minimum, but there is that 0.0005 taken out automatically of whatever is received. So just keep a note on that. Next slide, please. I believe that's done. Yeah, that's done. Perfect. Lovely. So we've covered quantum assets, we've covered digital assets. What we want to go and do is scroll down from the main dashboard past digital assets into bank accounts, and you'll be met with this image right here that goes and says open your unlimited bank account, and then the button that says open bank account right below it. Next slide, please. Okay, so very similar to what I explained with the sending money and transferring funds to, whether you have to nominate between a SEPA or a SWIFT transfer, we're going to go and apply the same sort of logic to what sort of account we're going to go and open. And an international bank account number is really, really special in the way that it is a lot more, I suppose, accepted by external financial institutions, banking institutions, to go and have your transfers go through. What's really, because with the international bank account number, this is kind of like an offshore account. Okay, and you can choose between one in Lithuania for all SEPA transactions, both in and out of the European Union, or if you're going to be sending money to other countries, or you're outside of that SEPA umbrella, then you'll go and select SWIFT, which will be Liechtenstein. Now, SEPA is only available in Euro bank account currency, which you will have to nominate which bank account currency you'd like it to be operating from. Once you've selected the bank account currency, you'll want to nominate whether it's a Liechtenstein IBAN or a Lithuanian IBAN. Of course, once you've gone and done so, you want to go and enter in the name of what the bank account will be registered under. So whether it's for yourself or whether it's for your business, completely up to you. Sorry, next slide, please. This goes and continues on. All right. But then you'll just need to go and note that there is a fee for opening an IBAN. And the best way to go and describe it is that for SEPA, because it's only transactions that are happening within that Euro umbrella, it'll be 125 euros. For a Euro account that is operating from a Liechtenstein, it is 250 euro, and that is because it goes and covers both SEPA transfers and SWIFT transfers. Okay? Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Can I please get some 4s in the chat if that goes and makes sense? This is a really, really important part, especially. Lovely. Thank you, Manja. Cargo sandwich, perfect. I'm guessing that's every cargo. Dallas, always a pleasure, mate. Thank you. So moving on, once you've gone and that only goes and happens for Euro. With the Liechtenstein account for a USD banking currency, it'll be $300. And then for Swiss franc, it'll be 275 francs. Love your interactions tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate it. This is amazing. Next slide, please. Thanks, Zenith. Lovely. So now that we've gone and covered the bank account component, let's move on to the card component. Okay, so once we've gone through the IBANs, and that's something that we've gone and selected, and we've gone and got it all set up and registered, right below it, you'll have the debit cards. And these are prepaid cards. They don't come with any credit, so you don't have any credit issues. This is all done through topping up funds either through an external financial institution or from Unitex, or even your Eva Ridge back office for those countries that aren't out of the 6 that have to go through a few forms at the moment. So moving on, with the bank account, banking cards, the debit cards, you won't go and see a card initially displayed as I have right here. Okay, you'll only go and see, like we saw with the digital assets, order new card will be the only box available. So you want to go and click that box. Next slide, please. Okay, and you'll be met with this page here, right? You'll want to go and order a virtual card, and the virtual cards are available. They do work. They're operational. You can go and send money and do online transactions today, which I think is incredible, especially because we are waiting for those physical debit cards to go and be able to be distributed everywhere around the world. It is just taking a little bit longer than expected. For all details regarding the standard card, the gold card, and also the metal card and what the differences are, it's best to jump on to Marshall's meeting tomorrow at the same time of 3 p.m. Moscow. So let's move on. With the virtual cards, there are for all cards really. There are three actions available. Sorry, next slide, please. Okay, you'll have the card info component, you'll have the top-up component, you'll have the withdrawal component. Let's start with the card info. And as you'll go and see, you'll see the balance that has been topped up. And the only quantum asset that you can top up to your card at the moment is euros. So just make note of that. It might go and save you a few fees with exchanging between currencies, especially if you are operating from a USD primarily, from Aussies, Americans, all of you guys. You know where I'm talking about. So you want to go and make sure that you've gone and topped up You can go and see the card type, which goes and says virtual card in this component. And you'll also go and see the status of being active. Now, if we move down to the very bottom, ladies and gentlemen, you'll go and see show details, freeze, and deactivate. Show details will go and allow your card number to actually display. Of course, I've gone and made it blind in this in this instance, but all those asterisks that you can go and see at the bottom left-hand corner of the card will actually go and show up with the full 16 digits, the expiry, and the CCV number, so that you can go and either make it disappear or make it visible at your leisure. With the freeze part, freezing, I can go and think of only real two situations. Number one, if you know, the physical cards come out and you decide, oh, well, look, I probably don't need to go and have the virtual card, you know, anymore, or at least for the time being, but I've already got funds on there, I'm not going to be using them, then you'll just go and hit the freeze button. You can unfreeze at any time. The other option is that if you think that your details have been compromised, and that there's been a transaction made with your details that you didn't authorize, you didn't go and make yourself, and somebody else went and did on your behalf, which is very unlikely, but these things do happen. You can just go and hit with a click of a button, freeze, and that will stop any further transactions happening, you know, from this prepaid card. And of course, the deactivate button is very self-explanatory. You can deactivate the card if you choose that you do not no longer need it. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so with these two parts of the operations within your banking card, it really is in a two steps. It's just simple 2 steps. Number one, you want to go and nominate the amount that you'd like to go and top up from your Euro Quantum asset. In this instance, I've gone and entered in, 15. And then also noted that there is the 2% fee for the top up on the for all top ups, as you can go and see, ladies and gentlemen, which is just deducted straight from the top up amount as pictured. Once you've gone and done that, just hit the top up button and it will be an instant process. Next slide, please. Same thing with withdrawal. If we're wanting to go and remove funds out from our card into our Quantum assets, we want to go and nominate the amount that we'd like to go and have moved from the card. And then also note that there is the 2% fee, which is automatically deducted again, and hit the big button that says withdrawal. And that will go straight into your Euro Quantum asset like that. Okay, beautiful. Next slide, please. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a really sore throat. We're almost done. We're almost done. All right. So I said at the start of the presentation that there would be a transaction filter so that you can go and find any single operation that's happening within your account. First and foremost, if you scroll down to the very bottom of your dashboard, you will be met with this image. And first and foremost, that's going to go and show you the 5 most recent actions within your global Unipay platform, so that you can go and see, okay, there was a currency deposit by my card. It was, XYZ amount, and this is from an external banking card, of course. And it's finished. Awesome. Currency deposit. I didn't want to go and do that. That's been cancelled as well. Fantastic. And you know what's happening within your account on a live-to-live feed, which is amazing. In contrast as well, you have a like a mini status report as to how many transactions are pending, how many are in progress, how many are cancelled, and of course, how many have been completed, so that once again, if you are tracking what's happening within your global Unipay account, you know where your money is at any given time, which is super important, especially when in reality, you can go and think of just with banking, banking population and banking operations, with all online transactions and online banking operations, is that it's just data, and data can be lost, which we don't want, especially when it goes and quantifies our quality of life. Next slide, please. So this transaction filter is set into a few components. you'll be able to go and filter through date range, which is very self-explanatory. You enter in a period from start to finish. So let's say the month of May. Let's say month of March, all right? Month of March. So I've got to put in the 1st of the 3rd, 2021, and then I go and enter in the 31st of the 3rd, 2021. And if I go and hit the big green button that says filter, it will come up with every single operation that's gone and happened within my Global Unipay platform all through the month of March. Next slide, please. Now, you can go and add as many of these filters in as you would like. So if you really want to narrow something down, it's best to go and use all 4. With this part, we're going to go through the type of operation. So we can go and select, okay, within that month of March, I want to go and find anything to do with my cards, all right? And so I'd go and select cards and then hit the green filter button, and it'll come up with every single operation in the month of March that is to go and do with any card operations and any actions that are happening within that particular component of your platform. Next slide, please. And right here we have which asset we can go and find as well. So that goes and includes Euro, USD, Swiss franc, anything to go and do with the banking card, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, and of course USDC, or any digital asset that we go and integrate, as well as gold, silver, and platinum, when we are able to go and add a commodities component for people to go and purchase, so that they have the physical gold, the physical silver, and the physical platinum. Eventually, that's something that we are looking forward to, looking towards. Next slide, please. And of course, we can go and select by status and filter by status. So any transactions that are in progress, any that are cancelled, any that are completed, any that are pending, and any that are failed as well. And if we go and use every single, I suppose, filter measure that we have here out of the 4, I can guarantee you that you can go and find pretty much anything that's happened within your Global Unipay platform. How cool is that? It goes and gives you a sense of security, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? This is where we're at. I think it's one of the best parts of Global Unipay. I absolutely love it. You can't take the smile off my face. Next slide, please. All right, we're getting to the end. So for the settings part, we're just going to go and breeze right through it because it is all very self-explanatory. So you want to go and hit the button that says settings. Once again, self-explanatory. Next slide, please. In your profile component, you'll be able to go and see your verification status first and foremost. You'll be able to go and see your name, the address that you've registered with Global Unipay, as well as your unique user ID, which is another way to go and find your unique user ID if you didn't go through just the name part, like I went and showed you at the start. You can go and select which main currency you want your account to be operating from. You can switch that up from any time. At the moment, we currently have got English as the only language to be selected, but we are looking to go and have professional translations for multiple languages, the same as we have within EVA Rich, just at a later date. Everything is coming along. It just hasn't happened yet. So we do appreciate your patience. Number 5 is that there is a link to go and open up a business account, like we went and did at the start of the presentation. And of course, I do need to go and stress that for any identity or passport changes, you need to inform us. You need to inform Global Unipay. You need to go and inform Global Pass, and you can go and do so in the support feature, which we'll get to right now. Next slide, please. Cool. So this will go and show you once again, kind of like a snapshot of what we went and saw with the recent transactions. You'll have recent correspondence showing up where you can go say, okay, well, there was a proof of address issue that I needed to go and have tended to. That was in regards to my proof of address document was out by 2 months when I first set up this this account for myself, and that goes and stays within all correspondence inboxes and registers. So once you've gone and you won't go and have that originally, of course, you'll go and see the big green button that says create new message, and that is to go and open a support ticket. So once you click that button, we'll move on to the next slide. Cool. So this is basically how you go and set up a support ticket. And there are 4 departments that you can actually get in contact with, whether that's Global Unipay Support, our direct team. You've got also any IT and security matters. If you think that your account has been compromised, then they're the people that you would go and speak to. Or if you think that there's any glitches that have been happening within your Global Unipay account, then the IT team will definitely go and be the people to speak to as well. Anything relating to payments, you can go and nominate for your support ticket to be sent through directly, and any onboarding matters as well, you can do so. So if you've been, if you think that you've gone and entered in absolutely everything regarding your, like, to be verified, and it still hasn't come up with that big green tick to go and say that you have been verified, then send them a support ticket and say, hey, listen, I've gone and entered in all the required documents. I've gone and done every single thing that I believe that I was asked to go and do to have this account. What's the issue? And the onboarding team will actually go and get back to you personally and let you know, oh, well, Mr. Smith, we've gone and noticed that your proof of address is 3 months instead of 2 months of recent nature. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, that's a quick fix. And then you know what you need to go and do, which is another big thing with verifying, is just to go and speak to our team, and they'll be able to direct you and guide you on the right path, rather than say, oh, well, I haven't gotten my account for whatever reason. I'm just going to go and give up. All it takes is just a simple support ticket, so that they know where you're at, you know where they're at, and hopefully you can go and get that onboarding issue sorted. So what we want to do with the support ticket is enter in a title, just a brief summation as to what the subject matter is. We want to nominate the department that our support ticket is directed to. We then want to go and provide as much information as we possibly can regarding our issue or our matter or our inquiry, making sure to explain, the reason, our desired solution, and also our unique user ID as well, just so that you're doubling up and making sure that their reference isn't actually getting lost on their end, and they can go and find your support ticket and they know exactly who they're speaking to as well. And of course, upload and attach any related documents or screenshots relating to your matter. And once you've gone and provided as much information as you possibly can, just hit the send message button, which will highlight in green, and that'll be done. You just have to wait for their correspondence back to you. Next slide, please. Cool. So with notifications, I put this one down to, knowing what's happening within your account when you're not within your Global Unipay account. We all have lives outside of GUPay, let's be honest, right? So you can go and toggle any of these notifications at any given time based on your own preferences. And I'll just run through them really, really quickly. You can receive email notifications for every fiat deposit, crypto withdrawal, fiat withdrawal. You can also receive email notifications for every sign-in from a new IP address. That's important. You can also receive the occasional newsletter email if you want to be kept up to date with what's happening within Global Unipay. That's completely up to you. And of course, and this is a huge one, receive every notification for every sign-in. That's really important when we're talking about security and knowing what's happening within your account at any given time. You know, you could be out and about and someone at home's gone and accidentally logged onto your Global Unipay account. You're just like, oh, well, that's a little bit weird. Who's on who's on my account? But then you'd be able to go and know, okay, well, at least, you know, someone's on for whatever reason, and you don't have that, I suppose, fear or of, you know, okay, what's going on with my account? You know, waking up one day, logging in and seeing that a transaction's been made that you didn't go and authorize. Having that notification is super, super important, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide, please. Cool. And for security, okay, very, very simple. You can go and change your password, your phone number, or your email address at any given time. Keep in mind that if you are changing your email address, you'll probably need to go and change your email address that's linked to your EvoRich account as well, so that that link, that communication isn't lost forever. Because that's important if you are wanting to go and get commissions and bonuses out from your EvoRich back office into Global Unipay. It is strongly advisable to go and enable your Google two-factor authentication. If you've already gone and done it once, you'll know how to go and do it again. I'll be uploading some videos onto our designated YouTube channel, how to go through each and every single action, rather than doing these presentations on a week-to-week basis, so that at any given time, and if any of your partners or any of your network who are using Global Unipay run into a little bit of a roadblock, then you'll be able to direct them to a designated YouTube channel with, you know, every single action within Global Unipay already doing a step-by-step instruction rather than just this text. Okay. And of course, you'll have a sign-in register, a detailed log of the last IP address and login time that happened within your account. And it'll also go and show you your browser as well. Next slide, please. So that covers the main part of the Global Unipay platform, but I did go and state at the start that you are able to go and pair your Unitex account. And let's be honest, a lot of people have been using their Unitex account, you know, and trading on there through EOS and Crew and UNTB, and that's fantastic. But how do we go and get it to our Global Unipay? Or how do we go and top up our Unitex through Global Unipay? Well, it's a very simple and easy process, ladies and gentlemen. Number one is that you can go and do so through the deposit and withdrawal feature in the check balances tab of Unitex. So anything that's happening within here is within Unitex and not within Global Unipay. I just want you to be aware. So you go into check balances, you click either deposit or withdraw for the US dollar or the euro function on the check balances tab. In this instance, I went and did the deposit feature. So I've gone to click that button right there. We'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so you'll be met with this. And normally before we went and had the pairing, you only had quantum clearance. Now you have the option of Global Unipay. And when you select Global Unipay for the first time as a deposit method or a withdrawal method, it'll go and come up with a, would you like to pair your Global Unipay account, and then ask you to provide your unique user ID. It's popped up again. That's why it's super, super important to go and know your unique user ID or to be able to locate it. But have a look at the fees, ladies and gentlemen, all right? An additional fee will be collected. Used to be 7% with Quantum. It's 1.5% with Global Unipay. That's incredible. That's a huge saving. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you are pairing your Unitex with Global Unipay, and that you'll be ending up saving more money, right? Of course, go and enter in the amount that you'd like to go and receive, and then hit add deposit, and then that pairing is done. You'll never have to go and do it again. Your Unitex will talk to your Global Unipay, your EvoRich back office will talk with your Global Unipay, and now we're starting to go and see the EvoRich economic ecosystem actually coming together. We've already got 3 components talking with one another. And then also, of course, the blockchain as well. So you're starting to go and see Andre's big picture as to how all these projects can go and work in tandem with one another. I think that's amazing. Next slide, please. Okay. Thank you for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. That wraps up for today's presentation. What's the time? We have got, I've got 6 minutes, ladies and gents. There were a couple questions in the English room. I will just go through them now. Okay, I'll start with Jayanthi's question. You said it's like an offshore account. What is the benefit of offshore account? Number one, it is widely recognized as a legitimate transaction. With offshore accounts, banks don't like cryptocurrency. They don't like the digital asset component, and they can go and make you jump through hoops and run around through hurdles and have to go through a lot of measures just to go and have your funds go into something that's a digital asset. With an IBAN, an offshore account, you basically have an account in another country with an international banking number that you'll be able to have linked with your global unit pay. So it's attached to your global unit pay, so that your transactions from an external financial banking institution can go straight into your IBAN that is attached to your global unit pay. That's probably the biggest reason. It just goes and makes it a lot easier for you to go and have that, I suppose, fluidity where your transactions can go from one institution to another institution to another institution. Hope that goes and answers the question. All right, Demo Datas. There are fees for receiving Bitcoin. Normally charges are only for sending. That is the 0.0005 Bitcoin. It is the only digital asset that goes and incurs a fee. Charges of the flat fee. Okay, so what I was saying with that is, with a flat charge, if you're depositing thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars, let's say, for example, that you were wanting to go and move, your life savings, you're worried about the bank's collapsing, you're like, oh, no, I need to go and move it over to somewhere safe and secure. I'm going to go and take my life savings of $100,000 and move it into Global Unit Pay. Or if you're a business and wanting to go and move the business account into Global Unit Pay, that's another option as well. But for these big high-end transactions, having a percentage for a fee is going to incur a massive loss. If we're talking 1% of $100,000 in this instance, that's $1,000 compared to a $30 fee for a deposit or a withdrawal in this instance. That's minimal compared to the thousands if you were doing it off a percentage scaling. That's why I go and say that for all big withdrawals, all big deposits, yeah, okay, use the flat fee. But for anything that's small, use the credit card option. That's going to be based on a percentage, which is very minimal. 1-2%, depending on what transaction it is. Kangabam, I can. Can you please email me your and I'll send you a message before this goes and finishes up. There's another question in the English room. Account. Damn it, I see you were absolutely filled with questions. Can we transfer USD and USDT from our Unitex account to Global Unipay and then withdraw from Global? Yeah, absolutely. If you've got or once we've gotten the withdrawal to, credit cards, Visa, MasterCard options, that's going to go and save you a whole lot of trouble with banking accounts and whatnot, because you'll just be able to go and withdraw straight to a card. And that's what I was saying about having Unitex go and talk with Global Unit Pay so that you can go and get it outside of the EVA Rich ecosystem, if need be, into an external bank account or an external card. Those options are there for you. Now, I know there was another question as well. No, that was Dennis telling me to slow down. Charge the withdrawal fee as other exchanges charges minimal business minimal.
We ask a question from the Spanish room.
Yeah, of course, Dennis.
We have a couple of questions. One of them is, I sent the document that they asked me to send, the bank statement. So, but I haven't been verified yet, and I don't know what to do. So, and then I'll ask my second question.
Yeah, so with the bank statement for your proof of address, it just needs to go and be within 2 months, and it needs to go and show your residential address, making sure that it does go and match the address that you've gone and entered in within your Global Unipay or onboarding process. So I'd go and open up a support ticket in your Global Unipay account, go to select the onboarding option, so that you can go and tell them absolutely everything that you've gone and said today, and they can go, oh, okay, cool, well, this is the issue. Then it should just be a quick fix. They'll be able to tell you what you need to go and do in order to be verified. Paula, that's what I was saying.
I'm sorry, Aidan. We have a second question, as you remember. And the second question is quite easy. I forgot the password to my email, and I don't know what to do next because I cannot really access my account. And there is one more thing. When you mentioned $2,000, is that the fee for the business account?
Yes, yeah. So the business account is a 2,000 flat fee for USD. For Swiss franc is 1,500. For euro, it's 1,500. Now, there was another question as well, wasn't there, Dennis?
It was about the electronic email that
yeah, okay, so forgot password.
So they forgot the password, so they can't get the access. So what should they do?
There should be a forgot password feature on GTI now. Let me just have a look, see. Sorry guys, just bear with me for 2 seconds. It shouldn't be too difficult. There's always a forgot password feature here. Hang on. Yeah. So, hang on, computer's just loading up. I do apologize. Yeah, so if you log on to gtinet.ch, below where it says email and password, there is a button that says forgot password. If you go and enter your email address that you've registered with Global Unipay, you'll be able to go and reset your password. I was sure that that was the case. I just wanted to go and be double certain. Hope that answers the question. Now, Paula, that's what I was saying. So with the final slide that I went and said with pairing your Unitex through Global Unipay, quantum clearance option is for Unitex as well as Global Unipay. For those people who don't have a Global Unipay account, they'll just use the quantum clearance option on Unitex. Within Global Unipay, we don't use quantum clearance.
I'm sorry, Aidan, are you answering the question already? Because I lost you. Where's the border between the question and the answer to the question?
Oh, so
yeah, thanks.
Sorry, mate. So to go and reset your password is really easy. You just have to log on to gtinet.ch, and then right below where you've entered in your email and your password, there's a button that says forgot password. If you click the forgot password button, it'll ask you to go and enter in your email, and you will be able to reset your password.
Okay, yeah, thanks. And then
no worries.
were you answering Paula's question? So please,
yeah,
like, show the difference between the answer and the question and the answer.
yeah, of course. So sorry, buddy. So for Paula's question, she asked, why have the quantum clearance option at 7% fee as a deposit option when global unit pay option is cheaper? That's exactly, like I said, that is exactly right. That last slide was based off Unitex functions. So the check balances tab within Unitex goes and offers quantum clearance or global unit pay. Quantum clearance is 7%, global unit pay is 1.5%. It makes sense to go and pair your Unitex with your global unit pay account so that you save money in the long run in those transferal fees. One last question. How can we use our virtual, Damadatis went and asked, how can we use our virtual card for retail purchases not online, like in retail stores? Then you can't. It's an online transaction method. That's why it's really important that we go and get the physical cards out, which will give you that option to go and use it in that instance for the retail purchases in retail stores. You know, the physical card, you'll be able to go and do the tap and pay. I hope that goes and answers the question. The online card works great for online transactions. It works seamlessly. But for physical transactions, it doesn't yet. Would we like to go and have Apple Pay and Google Pay incorporated? Absolutely. I would imagine that that's something on the cards. No pun intended. But it probably will go and happen in the future where we do have those services integrated. And you've then gone and asked, can we withdraw from Unitex account to global UnitPay account directly to our bank account in UAE? If you follow the steps, I would imagine that it would be easy. I'm not sure on the country-specific requirements, but if you go back through this presentation when I was talking about withdrawals from global UnitPay to a bank account, you'll need to provide the SWIFT, the BIC, the ABA, or the BSB number, as well as the account number as well. And it shouldn't be too difficult, I would imagine. Of course, if there are any issues in you receiving funds, it will be something to go and do with your bank, in which case just give them a quick call and just ask, hey, what's going on? I haven't heard any about that yet, Damadatis, but I will clarify and I will go and get back to you. I need to go.
Aidan, you can't do that. I mean, you have to read the question or the comment that you're answering to.
He's just went and said, because I was given to understand that for United Arab Emirates residents, it's still not allowed. I can't be too sure to go and tell you what the go is because I haven't been informed in that instance. Marshall and Valentin, definitely, I haven't, unfortunately, Demadatis. Sorry, guys, my voice is absolutely going. I'm going to have to wrap up tonight's presentation. But before I go, Marshall has got an absolute firecracker of news for tomorrow. At 3 p.m. Moscow for his business opportunity meeting, there is going to be a huge announcement in relation to an opportunity within Global UnitPay that's going to be open for those who want it. That's all I'm going to go and say. So definitely do tune in to Marshall's presentation. You should be able to find the Zoom link on the EvoRich back office. But otherwise, just look out for the socials. I would imagine that those who are always posting about presentations and upcoming meetings will be able to go and post his as well. So without further ado, I want to thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Do take care and do stay tuned for upcoming updates from August onwards via our YouTube channel. We'll be able to go and do segmented operations within our Global UnitPay platform as videos so that you can watch it at any time. Thank you. Good night and have a great day as well. See you guys. Bye.